The point is, nonprofit does not make something holy.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Carson C. Graham. Welcome back to Financial Tea, and now is the time to get rejuvenated. Alright guys, listen, nonprofits are dead, canceled, you can forget about it. Well, what do you mean by that? Alright, hold on, pump your brakes. Alright, so I wanted to talk about nonprofits. I had a little poll out on my Facebook story. I was like, should I make this video? And everybody was like, yes. So I was like, alright, cool, let's do it. So for those of you that don't know, I started a nonprofit back in 2017. It was 4 years old. I have been the president. I have been the co-founder. I have sat on 7 different national boards. So yeah, I come with some experience. Not to intimidate you, but I'm just telling you from a vast majority of experience. So here's the thing. I've had people say, hey, Carson, look, I want to start a nonprofit. And the first thing I always ask is why? Just like you start a business or anything you do, you got to think about why are you doing it? Because guess what? When times are rough, you're going to have to remember, why am I so passionate to do something like this? So I want to talk about a couple of myths that I noticed, and also talk about some of the things I noticed that are going to help you go through the process of really understanding, do I really want to start a 501c3 or whatever title you want to do? So let's just get it out the gate. Did you guys know that there's 27 public nonprofit organizations? There's 501c3s, which are charitable organizations. There's 501c4, which is social engagement. There's also 501c8, which is for fraternities. There's a 501c13 for cemetery organizations. There are so many different type of nonprofits. I've noticed an uprise, a tick into people wanting to do this. If you're doing this to get out of your job and make this a career because you want to go from $45,000 to like $85,000 a year, you could forget about it. You're not going to be driven to do this. Nonprofit work comes from a place of passion. You want to make sure you're doing it because you really want to help the community. The funds that you get are supposed to do programming. You may have different programs to help people. Whatever it is, it's not for you to get rich off of. Well, there's executive directors, the CEOs making $150,000 in a nonprofit organization. But listen, you can't compare a 75-year-old nonprofit organization to someone that's just trying to start out. It takes years of establishment. So you can start with just 1 board member. Wrong. Especially in the state of Florida, you need 3 board members minimum. That can be a president, a treasurer, and a secretary. As long as you have at least 3, you are good to go. You have to have been serving the community for at least a whole year. You really don't. If I wanted to, I could turn around right now and go ahead and go on Sunbiz and literally start my own nonprofit with just 3 board members. Yeah, it's just that simple, which becomes a little scary as well, but hey, I'm here to just rejuvenate your mind. Oh, I can just start a nonprofit with no bylaws. Listen, yes, you could technically do it, but I don't recommend you doing it. Bylaws are put in place to not only protect the organization, but these are rules and policies to keep your board running. And just like work and HR, right? They have policies in place to, you know, in case something happens, you have a question, or if there's a problem, you're able to resolve these issues very quickly, okay? Now, yes, bylaws can be amended, they can be changed, they could do whatever you want it to do, but again, you have a board, which means you cannot just make up things off the fly. I don't care what you've heard, that's not how you do a nonprofit. Your board is literally in charge of the organization and what goes on. Just because nonprofits sound very holy
or right or righteous or better than the greedy old capitalist or something like that, it doesn't.
That doesn't mean they necessarily are. I mean, what do I mean by that? So they don't just get money based off of donations. I know when you're on the outside looking in, a lot of us think that nonprofits get money by, oh, my generous giving. Yes, it's lovely to give them generous giving, and that's great. You should. Yes, the ones that you feel passionate about. But there's also things called grants. There's micro grants, which are smaller grants, $2,000 and $3,000 that these organizations can get. There's also state grants, there's local grants, there's federal grants, and these grants can go up to even $100,000. Yes, that's big money, which comes with big responsibility. They also come with deliverables. Now, another little thing, which maybe I shouldn't put this out here because a lot of people don't like this, but There are grants that either are going to make sure there's a ROI. What is a ROI? Return on investment. Yes, there's contracts put in place that you have to do when you're either getting a physical sponsor, which means you're not totally a 501c3, but you get the funding and it's passed on to you to do that program that you want to do. Grants, not so easy. There are easy ones. It requires a lot of writing. I mean, I have literally seen other people and business partners that were grant writers, the executive director. They wore many hats in the beginning. It's not as pretty as it looks on the outside. It takes a lot of work. It's literally an organization. An organization has various amount of moving parts that you all should know about. Get your articles of incorporation. Become an LLC or corporation. You can change it at any point. Get established. Get your 3 board members so that you can be official. You have no problems. And the third thing I want to say is work on your bylaws. Your bylaws are so important. Do not wait till the last minute to do it. I have been in that situation where I've been on an org and I've had my own org, wait till the last minute, and it is the worst thing you can do. Bylaws are so important and they keep everything solid, okay? Don't get too gun-ho on the amount of people you have. Okay, nonprofits, unlike businesses, you may rotate out of board members like clockwork. It happens. People either grow, sometimes it doesn't fit, maybe the organization is too much work for them. You don't know, and it's okay. It may hurt you, you may feel bad about it, yes, but the life of nonprofit work, again, it takes a lot of work. Now, I might do a part 2 of this because I don't want this video to be too long. I hope you guys like it. It was a lot of information. And again, there's a lot of other parts that you can do, like contracts, founders agreements, get a lawyer to make sure your bylaws are intact. There's so many different angles you can do this, but this was very just, let's get down to the nitty gritty of what a nonprofit is, okay? Hey, if you want to start a nonprofit and start one, go for it. I know a lot of people are like, man, we got too many nonprofits in medical care. We got too much in sports. We got too many fraternities. They're meant to impact the world. And guess what? Like me, I've never been a gatekeeper. Go for it. You feel passionate about it, but be dedicated and understand it takes a lot of hours, a lot of dedication to doing it. Using your own money, your own hours, staying up late at night, trying to save the world like you are a hero. You are not a superhero, okay? So you're going to be surprised that there's times that even in activism that you may be rah, but guess what? When you get to that boardroom, there are going to be entities that are like, yo, you need to calm that down. We can't do that here. Yeah, so it's going to be rough. Mentally, emotionally, physically. Just understand you got to be ready to be on that ride. Go after whatever you want to do. Business, LLC, corporation, nonprofit, or even a profit organization. You do know that there's churches that are nonprofits and some are even profits. So there's a difference. We'll talk about it in a different video. I know this is a lot to cover, but again, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video and you learned something that you didn't know, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and share this video with some people that either have a nonprofit. I want to hear from your standpoint of your experience, and also comment if you're interested in starting your own nonprofit. We'd love to hear from you. This is Carson C. Graham. Thanks for watching and stay rejuvenated.